All right, guys, I couldn't even lie if I wanted to. Having a pair of Vortex binoculars are probably the most important tool in my arsenal. With that being said, I feel they're so important that I need to give away a pair. You want a pair of Vortex binos? We're gonna give them away. All you gotta do, like, subscribe, and comment. If you do that, you're entered in the giveaway. Simple as that. Don't be the guy that didn't like, subscribe, and comment on our channel, because guess what? Then you don't win. So get ready. The giveaway's coming.
October. Oh, the October lull. Oh, the worst month of the season to hunt. It's so tough. It's so tough. Is it? I don't know. We're gonna get into it. And if you got a target buck that you're going after and you want to get a buck killed in October on your October 1st opener, on your October 15th date when everybody's out of the woods, we're gonna tell you how to do it here, guys. Before we get into that, housekeeping notes, booking clients now, okay? Go to Whitetail Land Management Services.com, hit the contact tab. You guys know the drill if you watch my other videos. I'm not gonna put you through it. You wanna get on the books, we're gonna book up. Do it. Number 2, EuroOptic.com. The link is in the description below. Head over there, use the code that is in the description if you want money off Vortex Optics. Simple as that. I keep saying the code in the videos and I don't even know if I'm saying it right. So double check in our description. And there's another code for VortexOptics.com, 2 different websites for the apparel. Head over there, buy yourself some stuff. You're in season, season's coming, depends when you're watching this video. You could use some free stuff. Not free stuff, but discounted stuff. Okay, October. Like I said, I don't hunt October. I wait for late October or November. And I wait and I go hunt when everybody else does and gets in the woods and pressures the deer. Guys, we can kill bucks in October. And in fact, the biggest bucks that I've ever shot at in my life, notice I say shot at, I'm gonna be honest with you, I missed. I missed. Buck fever, it'll get out the best of us. But anyway, I was put in the right position and I think that's definitely worth something in October. So the nice thing about October is deer are still pretty patternable. And we're gonna talk about the first half of October in this video, but we'll get to the pre-rut and how to kill bucks in that pre-rut time frame too. Early October, man, you gotta still treat it like early season because it kinda is. And for some of you, it really is early season. You know, if you're in Iowa, Illinois, and Michigan, and these other states. So what do you need to do? Well, you gotta find the bucks. How do you find the bucks? You get your butt out there and you in-season scout. Okay, that's one of the top ways to kill a buck in October. Otherwise, what a lot of us do is we do the same things that we do in November. We sit in the old trusty stand that's always pretty good. Okay, well, if that trusty stand doesn't have, maybe it's acorns, maybe it's chestnuts, maybe it's a correlating food source that's hot at that time of the year. That early October can be weird because there's kind of food everywhere. Things are kind of changing. Are your beans still green? Are they hitting your green blends yet? Maybe some daikon radishes or white radishes they're maybe hitting. It's a weird time to hunt. So you know what the best way to go and find bucks is? It's to go and find the bucks. So for you on the 40-acre parcels, I'm gonna be honest with you, if your bucks aren't there right now, go elsewhere. Hit the public. Knock on doors, do other things, because it's not likely that a buck is just gonna randomly show up October 7th, 10th, 12th. Now in the end of the month, yes. But until then, don't waste 3 weeks of your season, most likely prior to your gun season. And the way I think about this is when gun season rolls around, what number of bucks are gone now? They're dead. Okay, why am I waiting until a couple weeks before gun season to hope I get it done when I had the whole season and I figured I'd just stay out? Go elsewhere and let's figure it out. So how do you do that? In-season scout. Out of season scouting is fine. It gives you a broad idea as to maybe where a buck bed is. And I've done it, I get it. You know, I got 100 buck beds on my maps and stuff like that. But if you don't have a reason to hunt that buck bed that day, other than, you know, the predominant wind coming over his back and all the concepts we've already heard about. And if you haven't heard about those, I apologize. We'll get into them in another video. But the in-season scouting is way better because if I go out of season scouting, I don't know when that buck made that sign. If I go in-season scouting, especially in early October to mid-October, and there's fresh sign, that was made very recently. And those deer are still probably in that early fall pattern before they make that, what I'll call the November pre-rut November shift. So we can still kill them on an early season pattern if you have the correlating food source, the acorns, the food plots, anything like that. But in order to find that out, we got to get our butts out there and go and find the sign. Look for the scrapes. They might start popping up, especially as the month gets into the 20s, the October 20s. They're going to start pawing the ground. But if you're hunting earlier than that, which I recommend, because most of you aren't, go and look for those licking branches like you would in September. Pay attention to those, follow them back to the bedding, and we can push those deer out of their bedrooms, get in there early before they come back to those beds in the morning, or wait for them to come back out at night. Pressure's still pretty low this time of year. Guys maybe go out opening weekend and then they call it good until the rut. So you can still get in there with overly aggressive tactics and get these bucks killed. So let's say you want to hang some trail cameras. In a perfect world, what I would do is I would try to find these hot areas because of the sign that I found, push back into their bedding and get the camera in that transition area. Maybe that transition area has the acorns in it and it's before the destination food source. Or maybe it is the destination food source because you're hunting a big woods application or a big woods setting, I should say. Get your trail cameras back a little bit farther because it's still pretty likely, being earlier in the season, these bucks aren't going to travel a ton in daylight, so you're going to have to get closer to the bedding to get realistic photos of them. If you're sitting on the field edge with your trail cameras and you're getting 9 p.m. photos, that's not going to cut it. You might have to go back 200-300 yards. It might be 100 yards, but you have to go back farther to the bedroom, at least in the transition area, the first half, if not the second half, closer to their bedding. And how do you know how far that transition area is? There's only one way to figure it out. In-season scout and push back and see. I hate to even say it, but you know, if you don't know enough about your new property that you've picked up, your 20, 40, 80 acres, you got to take one day and you got to go figure it out in season. Because otherwise we sit on the perimeter where we're passive, we educate deer and do all these other things for years and years and years when you could have just wasted, quote unquote, wasted 1 day's worth of hunting to figure out what's going on currently on your property. If you can go and figure that out, you can get bucks killed in early October. Late October, I'm gonna give you 3 quick steps and we're gonna make it easy on you guys because it is an easier time to hunt. It's not nearly as complicated as or challenging, or don't have to be as in tune as hunting early October, which is not an excuse to not hunt early October. But anyway, start finding the scrapes. When the scrapes start finding them up or start popping up, and when I'm talking about scrapes, it's not just the licking branches anymore, those little licking branches that we'd all walk past and never notice. Now it's they're pawing at the ground. Okay, you want to get those bucks killed? Now is the time to start incorporating calling. Once around October 23rd, 24th, 25th, in a state that is low pressure, maybe you bust out the rattling antlers. If you're in the Iowas, the Kentuckys, the Illinois, somewhere in Missouri, southeast Minnesota, places that don't get a lot of pressure, break out the rattling antlers. Blind call, maybe, maybe not. I'm not a huge fan of it, but do have a grunt call with you. So when that buck is out cruising, looking for the first available does, that if he hears you off in the distance, can't quite see you when you grunt, and that's a tip too. Don't grunt at these bucks when they're standing in the wide open. They can look at you and be like, that's not a deer. Make it hard on them so they can't exactly see. Wait till they get behind a tree so that they have to start, their body language, it moves them towards the sound. And even if it's just enough to get that buck to face you, well, think about it. That's half the battle. That buck's already facing you. All he's got to do is take some more steps, and he comes to you. So start breaking out the calls, watch the mock scrapes, and you know what's the most important thing, guys? Get your butt in the woods. That's how you kill bucks in October. So if you guys like these videos, make sure you're liking, commenting, subscribing. Stay tuned. We're always ramping up with new videos and always giving away stuff. And if you like free stuff, you're in the right place. See you next video.